Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Israelite Wake Up. It's our Women's Advanced Bible Study night, on Thursday night, the 27th of February, 2025. Okay. What we'll be dealing with for our discussion will be Rebecca and Joshua chapter 26. Okay, we'll read that, break it down. Okay. The YouTube channel to Israel Wake Up. Check out our videos that we have on there. We have over 100 videos, I think. I'm thinking. Yeah, right around 100 videos. And you can check out the lives that we have on there for our Women's Advanced Bible Study and get the meat out. Okay. And we here every Thursday night for our Women's Advanced Bible Study from 7 to 9 Central Time. Okay. For those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, and so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by our Redeemer and our Savior, the Lord of Hosts. Shalom and welcome to the channel, and welcome to our Women's Advanced Bible Study. Okay, we're gonna do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer. We'll read the Psalms. We have some women's help. Then we go to our current events and need to know information. Then we'll go into our topic for the night, which is dealing with Rebecca and chapter 6 out of Joshua. Okay. This moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts, and all that he's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. We pray unto the Lord our God, and we make our confessions, O Lord, the great and dreadful God, keeping covenant and mercy to them that love thee and to them that keep thy commandments. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us a confusion of face, as it is this day, to the men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off. Through all the country that have driven us, because of our trespass that we have trespassed against thee. O Lord, hear this prayer and cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary and thy people for your sake. O Lord, open your eyes and incline thine ears to hear and behold our condition. O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, hearken and do. Defer not, for we need you so very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay, I'm going to read a psalm.
Shalom. I'm going to be reading from Psalms 121. God neither slumbers nor sleeps. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills from whence cometh my help. My health cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 121. God neither slumbers nor sleeps.
Okay, yeah. So when you listening to that, the very opposite of that is Deuteronomy 28. Notice when you lined up with him, he says nothing comes your way that's bad, but when you're not lined up with him, is what you get in Deuteronomy 28, especially verses 15 through 68. Okay, anybody else have any comments on that? Okay, we got our women's health moment.
Yes, sir. Shalom, everyone. Please note that the information that is shared is intended for general, informational, and educational purposes only and is not medical advice or recommended treatment. Tonight's discussion is on the benefits of eating healthy. A healthy diet has many benefits, including building strong bones, protecting the heart, preventing diseases, and boosting mood. Food is what fuels you and delivers the calories and nutrients your body needs to function. If your diet is deficient in calories or one or more nutrients, your health may suffer. If we eat too many calories, we may experience weight gain. People with obesity have an increased risk of diabetes, type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, heart disease, liver disease, or kidney disease. If your current diet is high in ultra processed foods and beverages, but low in whole foods like vegetables, nuts, fish, you're likely not eating enough of certain nutrients. This may affect your overall health. Although certain people need or choose to avoid particular foods or adopt diets for health reasons, you don't have to follow any specific to feel your best. Healthy eating simply means fueling your body with mostly nutritious foods. Even though calories are important, your primary concern should be nutrients. Try to mostly eat foods that are high in nutrients like protein, fiber, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. These foods include veggies, fruits, nuts, seeds, beans, fatty fish, and eggs. To eat healthier, start by making small changes. Make sure each meal or snack contains nutrient dense foods and that processed foods are avoided. Healthy eating does not have to be complicated. You can your body while still enjoying the foods you love. Food is meant to be enjoyed, not feared, counted, weighed, or tracked. I will be reading Proverbs chapter 10, verses 27 through 30. Fear of the Lord, prolonged days. Verse 27. The fear days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. The hope of the righteous shall be gladness, but the expectation of the wicked shall perish. Verse 29. The way of the Lord is strength to the upright, but destruction shall be to the workers of iniquity. Verse 30. The righteous shall never be removed, but the wicked shall not inhabit the earth. Tonight's discussion was on the benefits of eating healthy, and I read Proverbs chapter 10, verses 27 through 30. Fear of the Lord, prolonged days. Shalom, everyone.
Okay, appreciate that information. We'll go to our current events, right? We'll play them and then we'll get some feedback.
Decision that has sent shockwaves across Africa, Malawi's President Lazarus Chakwera has joined the ranks of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger in a decisive move to ban the export of minerals from his country. The Malawian government has frozen exports of gemstones and other precious minerals and halted the issuance of new mineral export licenses. This drastic action is part of a broader effort to reform the mining sector, ensuring that Malawi gains full control over its vast mineral wealth, rather than allowing foreign corporations to reap disproportionate benefits. The Southern African nation is endowed with significant mineral deposits, including uranium, rubies, and sapphires. However, unlike its neighbors, Malawi has yet to fully capitalize on these resources for national development. Mining Minister Joseph Makandawire, in a strongly worded statement on Facebook, justified the export ban, stating, "This measure has been taken in order to sanitize the mining sector as the ministry undertakes reforms to bring efficiency and transparency in mineral rights administration. The ban takes effect immediately and will remain in place until further notice," the Ministry of Mining confirmed in an official statement. One might ask, what has triggered this sudden policy shift? Are African leaders finally drawing inspiration from Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, countries that have recently taken a stand against foreign exploitation of their natural wealth? To answer these critical questions, we must analyze the recent developments in these nations and how Malawi's decision fits into this broader movement. Malawi's ban follows a directive from Vice, who ordered a 21-day review of all existing mining contracts. This move is part of a larger trend in which African nations are reassessing deals that have historically favored multinational corporations at the expense of local economies. The Malawian government has also been engaged in a high-stakes battle with Columbia Gem House, a US-based gemstone company, over unpaid taxes and royalties. Since mid-2022, the government has demanded more than $309 billion from the company for rubies extracted over the past decade. The allegations are damning. Nyala Mines Limited, a Colombia gem house subsidiary, reportedly paid a mere $600 in taxes despite generating an estimated $12 billion in revenue from Malawian rubies. To put this into perspective, the amount claimed from Colombia Gem House is nearly 30 times Malawi's annual GDP, according to the International Monetary Fund, IMF. This is a glaring example of how foreign corporations have built themselves while leaving Malawians in poverty. Honestly, when I learned this, I become sad and very angry. This is a crucial moment for the nation. With nearly 75% of its 24 million citizens living in extreme poverty, Malawi cannot afford to continue exporting its resources for a pittance while its people struggle to survive. The decision to freeze mineral exports is not just an economic measure, it is an assertion of sovereignty. Malawi's move mirrors the revolutionary policies adopted by Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, where new leadership has taken aggressive steps to regain control over their natural wealth. A particularly striking example is Niger, where the new military leadership under General Abdurrahmane Chiani ousted the previous regime after discovering how the West had been plundering its resources.
You can get 2 solar generators for the price of 1.
Have surfaced revealing that Niger's former government signed contracts granting 5% royalties on uranium sales, an outrageously low figure for one of the world's largest uranium producers. In a now famous video, the late Wagner PMC leader, Yevgeny Prigozhin, exposed how French companies were selling Nigerian uranium for $200 per kilogram, while Niger itself was receiving a mere 0.80 mol per kilogram. To put this into perspective, Canada sells its uranium for the full market price, yet Niger's wealth was essentially being stolen, with the country receiving only a fraction of its true value. This is not just exploitation, it is outright economic warfare. For those who may not understand the significance of what Malawi is doing, it is important to draw historical parallels. The decision by Niger's junta and now Malawi's government follows a path once taken by Libya's Muammar Gaddafi, who sought to unite Africa under a self-sufficient economic system independent of Western exploitation. We all saw how the West responded to Gaddafi's ambitions, with military intervention and regime change. The question now is, will other African leaders follow Malawi's example, or will external forces attempt to pressure Chakwera's administration into reversing this decision? History has shown that when African nations take bold steps to reclaim their resources, they often face intense economic, political, and even military pushback from global powers that benefit from the status quo. President Chakwera's decision is more than just an economic policy. It is a revolutionary act that challenges the long-standing exploitation of African resources by foreign corporations. By taking control of its mineral wealth, Malawi has positioned itself as a leader in the growing movement of African nations demanding economic justice. If this trend continues, we could be witnessing the dawn of a new era where African countries dictate the terms of their own economic destiny, rather than being at the mercy of external powers. Projects, schools, hospitals, roads, while the junta cracked down on corruption with a ferocity that left no room for compromise. Traore's message was simple yet profound. Burkina Faso's minerals belong to Burkina Faso. The impact of Traore's mineral reclamation has been nothing short of transformative, a seismic shift that has redefined Burkina Faso's place in the world. Economically, the numbers speak for themselves. Cereal production hit a record 6 million tons in 2024, bolstered by state investments in agriculture funded by mining profits. The nation's GDP, projected to grow by 3.7% in 2024, reflects a burgeoning economy no longer beholden to foreign whims. The opening of Burkina Faso's first state bank in August 2024, marked another milestone, a financial institution designed to channel mineral wealth into development, not debt repayment. This bank is a symbol of our economic sovereignty, Traore declared, and the people believed him, for they saw the fruits of his labor in their daily lives. Socially, Burkina Faso is awakening. The expulsion of French forces in February 2023, followed by the rejection of French as an official language and the banning of colonial-era judicial wigs in January 2025, signaled a cultural renaissance. Traoré's junta has doubled military spending, equipping soldiers to reclaim territory from jihadists, while recruiting 50,000 volunteers into the Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland, VDP militia. And Niger. This growing movement is not just a policy shift. It is a clarion call for African sovereignty, a rejection of the colonial plunder that has bled our lands dry for centuries, and a resolute step towards self-determination. The time has come for African leaders to heed this call, to follow the courageous examples of these nations, and to end the corrupt practices that have enriched foreign powers and their local collaborators while leaving our people in abject poverty. Let me take you through this seismic shift, its implications, and why every African leader must rise to this occasion. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, nations in the Sahel region, have also taken decisive steps to reclaim their mineral wealth. Since 2020, these countries have experienced military takeovers driven by a rejection of neo-colonial exploitation and a desire to redirect their resources, gold, uranium, and more, for the benefit of their people. Niger.
Okay, so we see another country that broke away from the West. Any comments or questions on it? Okay.
Shalom. Is the West also considered France? Because they mentioned the West and then they mentioned France at one time. So is that also part of the West of Africa?
Europeans.
The
Europeans,
Europeans?
they are West.
Yes, sir. So they're including them also, correct? Or not?
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. Anybody else? Okay, here we go.
Over 40.8 million people in the United States are living in poverty, and the situation is even more alarming when it comes to children. Nearly 21% of American kids are affected, far surpassing the global average of just 11.7%. In a country known for its wealth and opportunity, these numbers reveal a disturbing truth. Poverty remains a persistent and growing issue. In this video, we're diving into the top 10 poorest states in America where poverty is hitting hardest. Number 10, South Carolina. In South Carolina, the fight for financial stability has become increasingly difficult for many families. The cost of living continues to outpace wage growth, leaving many residents struggling to make ends meet. South Carolina's poverty rate of 16.6% and an unemployment rate of 5.2% as of 2024 highlight the depth of the state's economic challenges. While the state's population has reached 5.46 million, the average annual salary of $51,250 falls far short of covering basic needs for many residents. Housing costs in cities like Charleston have skyrocketed in recent years, pushing many families into rental properties they can barely afford. According to a report by the National Low Income Housing Coalition, renters in South Carolina must earn $21.54 per hour to afford a two-bedroom apartment at fair market rent, far above the state's average wage. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, nearly 40% of South Carolina's workforce is employed in low-wage occupations, where average hourly wages hover just above $11. This has created a widening gap between the state's wealthiest residents and those struggling to survive. 9, Tennessee. With its 7.1 million residents, the volunteer state faces its own economic challenges, with many families caught in a struggle against the high cost of living and stagnant wages. Despite having a relatively low unemployment rate of 4.1%, the state's poverty rate stands at 17%, reflecting the deep financial disparities between urban and rural areas. A 2022 report by the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development found that rural counties in the state experienced poverty rates as high as 30%, nearly double the state average. While Tennessee's average salary of $53,030 is slightly higher than South Carolina's, it still falls short when it comes to providing economic stability for many households. In cities like Nashville, housing costs have surged in recent years, leaving families in search of affordable rental properties. The National Low Income Housing Coalition reports that in Tennessee, the minimum wage needed to afford a two-bedroom apartment is $19.24 per hour, more than 3 times the state's minimum wage of $7.25. 8. Arkansas, the state, celebrated for its natural beauty and rich cultural heritage, faces significant economic challenges that leave many residents struggling to keep up with the rising cost of living. With a poverty rate of 17.7%, one of the highest in the nation, Arkansas is a state where financial instability is an everyday reality for far too many. The situation is even more dire for children, with a staggering 21.7% of the state's youth living in poverty. For the state's 3.07 million residents, these economic disparities are becoming increasingly difficult to overcome. At 7%.
Okay.
Enter your address and get a
faces deep systemic issues that have left many of its 2.94 million residents financially vulnerable. Mississippi boasts the highest child poverty rate in the country, with nearly 28% of children living below the federal poverty line as of 2024. This troubling statistic highlights the generational challenges many families in the state face, where economic mobility remains elusive. One of the main culprits of the financial strain in Mississippi is the high cost of living, particularly in housing and groceries. Housing costs, although relatively lower than national averages, are still a significant burden for many families. With a median household income of just $44,966, lowest in the nation, Mississippi families often struggle to afford basic living expenses. The stagnation of wages, particularly in rural areas, further compounds the issue as the cost of groceries and other essential goods rises. Many families find themselves caught in a cycle of debt, unable to save or invest in their future. Mississippi's overall poverty rate stands at 21%, a stark reminder of how systemic inequities and limited access to resources continue to perpetuate financial instability. With the state's average salary sitting at $47,570, workers often find themselves unable to cover both their immediate needs and plan for the future. Despite the state's efforts to boost education and workforce development, the financial barriers continue to keep many families from climbing out of poverty. One, Louisiana. As of 2024, Louisiana's poverty rate remains among the highest in the nation, with an alarming 18.9% of the population living in poverty. Louisiana is home to 4.57 million residents, and its economic disparity is evident in the wide gap between the state's average salary of $53,440 and the lower earnings of many residents, where many workers earn closer to $52,306 annually. The high cost of living in Louisiana is one of the primary reasons families are struggling to make ends meet. Housing costs in cities like New Orleans have surged in recent years, making it difficult for low and middle income families to find affordable homes.
Okay. Any comments on that? Okay. Everybody good?
Yes.
Okay, got some need to know information. Here we go. Play this and get some response. Okay.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube.
Amazing story. Oh my goodness. So many of y'all hit me up and asked me to do a video on this story. And rest assured, I looked into it. I was like, oh, Absolutely. I would love to do a video on this story because I think there should be more stories like this throughout 2025.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Now, for those who may not know about the story, well, we had this innocent white woman, okay? And her name is Hannah. And she was with Telvin Osborne, a black man. And what happens was this innocent white woman was partying, okay? She got a little intoxicated, and she went home and a gun was involved in an argument with Telvin. And next thing we know, Telvin is no longer with us.
Arrived at the 800 block of 4 Points Road on Sunday. Shooting happened around 5:45 a.m. Investigators found Telvin Osborne with a single wound to the chest.
I know what you're thinking. Lucas, this is an amazing story. This is a sad story. Let me just tell you. Telvin had a lot to say before Telvin went bye-bye. Telvin, I can't believe what I'm about to say. This man said that he would never get with a black woman, that he would get with a dog before a black woman, and the dog had to be white. Whew.
There's powerful niggardry at work here.
That's a new level of self-hatred, okay? That's a level of self-hatred I have never seen before. In addition to that, he said that he wouldn't fight a white man. He would never fight a white man, but he would definitely beat the ass of a black man. Just think about that, bro. Just think about that. Damn. Think about how mentally just done, you're cooked, you have to be. Okay, that's why I say Hannah was innocent. Hannah is innocent because what Hannah alleges in this story is that she was cleaning the gun and it accidentally went off. All right, it accidentally went off, and we all know that is very possible. Okay, we all know. I've seen it. I've seen it before where a gun just boom. Oh, you were cleaning it and you accidentally pushed the wrong thing and the thing went off. Absolutely. Okay. I just want to be clear. Now, the police, we all know the police. These mofos is just racist. The police are saying that there was no mention of cleaning a gun. Okay, and in the investigation, we can't trust him, bro. I trust him.
Also clearing up misinformation about the shooting.
Important for us to clarify that at no point during the investigation was information about a person cleaning a weapon.
Hashtag free him. That's what I'm saying, because this story is eerily reminiscent of another story that I did a report on, where same scenario, we have an innocent white woman and a very evil, wicked black man. And this innocent white woman, well, they got into a fight. I just don't know how this all follows the same patterns, but they got into a fight, and she got a knife and went choo 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 choo. And next thing we know, Oba Maselli, that's what his name is, no longer with us. And Oba Maselli, crazy, ironically, had the same views of black women that Telvin Osborne had. And Oba Maselli was like, he didn't want black women in the class with him. He went so far to say that white women, chests were better than black women's chests. Now, like I said, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong with these dudes. Okay. But clearly, Courtney Clenny, that was her name. She is innocent. All right. She is innocent. I believe Oba Maselli was trying to strangle her or attack her or something, or try to lower her credit score. That's what I believe. Okay. I just want to put that out there. This is an amazing story because I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Y'all may not like it. Y'all may boo, it is what it is. I may lose some people, but I'm going to say these two white women have done more for the black community than a significant portion of black people.
He's out of line, but he's right.
I know you're going to boo, I understand, but can we be honest? Can we be honest? They really taken them out. You want to tell me this is the world you want to live in? You want to live in a world with a Kundus Owens, with a Tatum? You want to live in a world with the fat dude from The Blaze? I'm just saying. I think what we should do is start finding these women, hiring them, bro. We can give them a code name Winter Soldier. We can code name Winter Soldier and send them out into the Black community and let them do their job, bro. Send them out and get them all the Sambos and the Cooneries and let them cleanse the community. And we pay them a little fee. It is what it is, right? We give them, hey, we can even give them a costume, have them go like full, White Dragon from the Power Rangers. It's morphin' time or something like that. And just send them out into the community, bro. That's all I'm saying. What we should do is start hiring these white women, okay? And see, we can use them for the betterment and the empowerment of the collective.
Okay. Any comments on that? You making any sense?
Shalom, everyone. No, it's not making any sense to me. I don't know. I just want to say, he pretty much brought that on himself. When you live in a small town, I'm gonna say when I was growing up, and my uncles and my cousins and everybody, my granddaddy, used to tell them, right? It's two things that don't live long: a dog that chases a car, right, and black men that chases white women. Okay. So, you gotta, really look at that and look at what he said. Something about, didn't he say somebody rather sleep with a dog?
Yeah, gonna sleep with
first.
A black woman.
Right, exactly. And I don't know, it's crazy to me. His mother's black, his grandmother is black, his sister is black, his aunties are black. It's something missing there that's causing him to speak that way about black women and to feel a certain type of way about white women.
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of it, I think it's programming from, especially these generations now. They 24/7, they hitting you with all this bisexual stuff. They're hitting you out with everything you watch, commercials and movies. Everything is interracial. Everything interracially motivated. So I think that's got a lot to do with it. And then the environment they come up in too, but they just adds to it. Like I said, subliminal messages. Oh yeah, and they probably had some kind of bad relationship when they was young, maybe with their mother, or maybe a bad relationship with somebody of the same race, and then they just wanted to get away from it, and they tag everybody bad. Yeah. Anybody else?
Shalom.
Okay.
That situation that happened was very close to home.
Okay.
They had actually been out in the area that night to the club where I'm from. They have a video of her making gestures like she was shooting a gun in the club. She was doing that. That's, you know what I mean? So I don't know what could have happened in between that, them leaving from the club to going back home, but I know they do have a child together. And sometimes domestic violence, sometimes people have domestic situations going on and don't nobody be knowing about it.
Right.
And I saw where a lot of people that knew him or family members of him was defending him. I'm not gonna say those family members. I'm just gonna say some people was defending, saying she still didn't have no right to take his life, regardless of the post that he made.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mika, I heard that was the reason why they went on and picked her up was because of the videos. She lost connection.
Oh, she lost connection?
Yeah, we can't. She's unmuted, but we can't hear her. We can't hear you if you're speaking, Mika.
Let me see. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. She's on it twice now.
Yeah,
Still
unmute
can't hear?
Mika.
Can you hear me now? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
So I saw where some people was defending him saying, well, she still didn't have no right to take his life. When there were people that were saying, well, look at the post that he made. But me personally, I didn't put anything on the internet, but the way I feel about it is same thing you were saying when you said about the self-hatred.
Right.
That's got to be some deep self-hatred to feel that way about your own people,
Exactly.
especially with you having a black mother, like you say, grandmother. How can you hate your own so much and put your faith in somebody else so much, and then them be the one to take your life?
Mm-hmm.
You know. Um, but I when I used to work in a factory with a lot of guys, sometimes I used to ask them questions about stuff like this, like the ones that was married, even if they was married to a wife. I just would ask different questions, and try not to do it in an offensive way. And one of the things is, one of the reasons why they like dating outside of the race, because they saying, like, the women are much nicer, or not, I guess don't, um pretty much let them do what they want, I guess, if you want, if
Mm-hmm.
said in so many words.
Right.
And then there's that, I guess, just in fact just wanting to see what it's like. I don't know, but there were white guys that worked out there that used to want to talk to the black girls. I would ask them the same thing, and it seemed like it's some type of fetish there. I don't know. That's what I grasp from it. Just being with the opposite. But I just feel like some of the stuff that he was saying, not all of it, matter of fact, so all of the stuff that he was saying, he pretty much dug his own grave.
Exactly. Right. Right. It's the same situation with what's going on now with these Latinos. When they was coming over here, they was getting all this money from the government and run all over the place. Nobody wasn't cutting them off from nothing. They throwed us away, and then now Trump issuing all of them out of here. Now they all over the internet trying to want to know why the black folks not speaking up about them and trying to support them. You showed out when the opportunity presented itself, and so now it's in backfired on you. And so you gotta swallow that pill. You know what I mean? That's how that works. Okay. Anybody else got anything on that? Okay, we'll open it up for some Q&A. Anybody questions or comments about anything they came across when they were studying, or something they saw that didn't make any sense? Wanted some clarity? Okay.
Shalom. Shalom. In Jubilees, chapter 35, Rebecca, Jacob's mom, and she talks about her dying, and she's seeing it in a dream, that she's dying. And Jacob tells her, that everything's good with her. She's not dying. Why would she say that? And then she, goes to Isaac and tells him to bless Jacob and not Esau, because he's evil and he's doing evil things and stuff. This is well after they have the when he's dying and he asks, say bring him here to bless him, and they do the switch. But he does, and this part, this is in the Apocrypha. So like you've always told us, you don't get the whole story in that King James version. I just wanted to read this one part here. This is Jubilees chapter 35, verse 24. Well, I'll go back up a little bit because it's not going to tell me there. It says in verse 22, and I will also love my brother Jacob all above all flesh, for I have no brother in all the earth but him only, and this is no great merit for me. I love him, for he is my brother, and we were sown together in your body, and together we came out from your womb. And if I do not love my brother, whom will I love? For I myself beg you, exhort Jacob concerning me and concerning my sons, for I know that he will assuredly be king over me and my sons. For on the day my father blessed him, he made him the higher of me, the lower. And I swear to you that I will love him and not desire evil against him all the days of my life, but good only. And he swore to her regarding all this matter. And he called Jacob before the eyes of Esau and gave him command according to the words which she had spoken to Esau. And he said, I will do your pleasure. Believe me that no evil will proceed from me or from my sons against Esau, and I will be first in nothing save in love only. And she said, and she and her sons ate and drank that night, and she died. 3 jubilees and 1 week and 1 year old on that night that her two sons, Esau and Jacob, buried her in the double cave near Sarah, their father's mother. She had asked them when she had told Jacob that she was going to die, and that for them to bury her near, Sarah, and they did. So my question is that when in the verse where it says, I love Jacob, but Esau I hate, can you explain that? Because
Well,
that's not in here. This, uh-huh.
yeah, that verse, the verse with that's two different situations. The one where it's quoted saying, "I love Jacob, Esau I hate." That's the Lord. That's the Lord of hosts
Mm-hmm.
speaking that. But what you just read was the relationship with Rebecca and the two boys. But the love Esau and hate Jacob is that's our Redeemer saying that. And the reason being is, like I said, Jacob has been chosen. That nation that's the apple of his eye has been chosen to. He's the judge of the whole earth, not Yahweh. So when he came to the earth and chose Israel, delivered them out of Egypt, they are co-conspirators with him in judgment. So he loved judgment. So he loved Jacob. And then he hates robbery. So Esau is a robber. So that's why he hates Esau. And you got two examples. When Canaan, the land was divided up between Ham, Shem, and Japhet, and Canaan, they was on their way. Canaan was on his way to his land that was given to him. He didn't go to his land. He came in and viewed Shem land and stole it, robbed it. He robbed it. That's why the Canaanites got their judgment when the Israelites came out of Egypt for what they done long time ago. We robbed the land of Israel, and the Creator, Lord of hosts, hates robbery. That's why he had a problem with the Canaanites and did them the way that they did. He did them. And Esau the same way. We in that same predicament right now with Esau. He done robbed us. So the judgment that everybody waiting on is the Creator's coming to judge Esau for what he's done. how he done screwed up his law, twisted it all around, messed with his word, and he's dislocated his people, mislocated, or however you say that. Yeah, so that's what that is.
Thank you. Yes, sir. So, when Rebecca says she had the vision and the dream that um, she was going to die, is that the first count of a female having that vision, exact day, that night, that she knew she was going to die? This is the first time I've read that a female had the vision or dream that they were going to die, and she
Right.
did.
Now, so when they say we went to Genesis, we went to Isaiah, and when um, Isaiah was talking to Ahaz, he told him, asked him to give him or ask the sign of the Lord, because that's a requirement in Israel. If you got some kind of problem with the Lord, Isaiah told Ahaz, ask him a sign, ask, and then he go back and he inquire of it and come back and give it to him. Isaiah refused to take the sign, refused to ask for a sign. He was afraid. So Isaiah said, "I tell you what, since ask for no sign, then a woman of marriage age, which is a virgin, shall conceive and have a son. That'll be the sign, right?" So then you go to chapter 8, and it says that Isaiah went to the prophetess. That's his wife. So what do prophetess mean? A woman that can see.
Yes, sir.
Right. So that's what that is. So if you got Israelite men that they got the same DNA, if you got men that have those abilities, then you got women that have those abilities. That's like the other day when we was breaking down what happened with Zerubbabel, and we was in the book of Ezra. It says that when they came out of Egypt, when they came out of Babylon, he had singing. The women, people that can worship, and those are the ones that they got the gift. The most creator gave them to sing. It said singing, men and women. But like I said, well, based off of even the conversation listening to about what the guy was saying about the hating black women and all that stuff, that's we got a peculiar problem than no else in the world, because of we most high people. We be the apple of his eye, and we got an order that's in place. Like I was saying, we come up, we 10, 15 years old, we get up to be 18, we go in the Army and Navy and all this different stuff, and we out and about, and we can't run and grab any old woman that we see. But they can. We can't. We think we can, but we got laws and all that surrounding us. That we've been blind on the fact that what our roles are, but we can't run and grab anything like that. But they can. So it's an order in place. So back then, I just said they had senior men and women, but those senior women stayed in their place. They didn't they didn't get elevated, which is what the Esau doing. He elevated. He found a singing woman like Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston, elevate them above the Israelite man, and then now she don't have no. She not no longer feel like she under the leadership or authority of those Israelite men. She above them, and that's what happened to us all the way around. We outside the box. Our order been scrambled up, and so it's obvious when it comes to us because of who we are. But it's not really it's not that glaring or sticking out that as bad with everybody else. But with us, it's glaring that it's a problem with the Israelite man and the Israelite woman because we are all out of whack. We the people that's we the rulers of the custodians of the earth. When we out of whack.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So anybody else got anything? Comments, questions?
Shalom, Brother Leonard. I just would like to say something kind of bouncing off of the video and what you just said, right? About the Israelite man and woman. And I always go to the book of Esther, right? Because every woman that reads that story elevates Esther, not knowing that it's the book of Mordecai, right? Not understanding that she kept going to the gate to speak to Mordecai. She was not doing anything on her own. So, like you said, today, as women, we start to learn a little bit, right? As Israelite women. And we want to cut the teacher off. We want to, overspeak him. We think we know more than he knows. We don't remain humble. There were Israelite women, right, that knew things, but they stayed in their place, just like Abigail. It was only used when it was needed to be. Today, as women, even Hebrew Israelite women, we rather be more vocal than listening. Right. So we go back to the book of Deuteronomy, and he tells us that he doesn't want us intermingling, right? And there's a reason why.
Right.
He says that. Okay. So before we knew, I'm going somewhere with this. Give me a minute, and I'm gonna do a little bit of reading, but I'm going somewhere with it. Before we knew the Lord of hosts, right? We had our own plans, right, for our lives, right? Our destiny. We had that picture painted of what we wanted it to be. But us that has came into this truth, we know who our creator is, and he has the plans for our lives. Because 17 years ago, if somebody would have told me about this right here, I just would have been like, what are you talking about? Right? Because where I'm at today is truly a blessing, and I'm so thankful, for that every day. And I hope I don't offend anybody or say anything out of place, but as Hebrew Israelite women, we do not want to learn our place as Israelite women. He woke us up for a reason. He's waking up Hebrew Israelite men, and he's waking up Hebrew Israelite women to be in our roles, what he created us to be. And we all have a purpose in life, right? So I'm going to cut that off right there, and I'm going to read Jeremiah. Read out the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, right? And I'm going to start with verse 4. It says, "Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations." 6. Then said I, Lord God, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But the Lord said unto me, Say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to in all that I shall send thee. And whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. Verse 8. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, said the Lord. Verse 9. Then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant. And we also see that in the book of Isaiah when he cleansed Isaiah, right? So I think that's in from wrong, Brother Leonard, I think chapter 6 in the book of Isaiah, about the hot cold, and Isaiah was saying that he had unclean lips.
Right.
So there's nothing that the Lord of hosts cannot do. Is his timing for everything, right? Even Isaac was born in Genesis 18. He spoke that, right? Doesn't make mistakes, right? So, with that being said, I would just like to say happy born day to our teacher, Brother Leonard, the one that is patient, studies all the time, constantly speaking the truth. He is a what can I say, a humble man, and the Lord of hosts uses humble people to accomplish great things. So I would just like to say happy born day, Brother Leonard, and may the Lord continue to bless you and keep you. And I appreciate you.
Okay, appreciate that. Okay, anybody else have anything else? Okay, so with that being said, if nobody have no questions or anything, we'll go to our topic, which is dealing with Rebecca, and we coming from Josh chapter 26. We're going to read that. Like I said, if you got any questions, you got to speak up and ask them, because that's the only way you're going to get a better understanding of it. Okay, so I'm in. Remember in Genesis, the story when Rebecca was having trouble with her stomach. How that Rebecca said, it says that Rebecca went and required of the Lord, and she went and talked to the Lord, and the Lord told her that it was too, but that's not what happened. You go back to like what I was saying right here. It's the issue going on with the Israelite man and woman. So when anytime somebody in Israel had an issue with anything, they went to the priest and the Levites. They went to the tabernacle, and the priest, they inquired of the priest, and then the priest go inquire of the Lord. Like I was telling you, he took the Levites from among the people. So they go inquire of the Levite, then the Levite go inquire of the Lord, and then he comes back with the answer, give him an answer. So it wasn't that she went and prayed to the Lord on her own. She inquired from a righteous man or man of God, and then he told her what was up. And then we come to find out, if you expand your research, that she inquired. She went to her husband, which is Isaac, inquired of him, and Isaac Lord is Abraham. So Abraham, when Isaac went and inquired of Abraham, and Abraham went and inquired of, and then Abraham got the answer, came back and gave it to Isaac. So we're gonna see that. Okay, let's check it out. I'm in chapter 26. Any question so far?
No, sir.
Okay, so chapter 26 says, verse 1. In the 59th year of the life of Isaac, the son of Abraham, Rebekah his wife was barren in those. And Rebekah said unto Isaac, truly I have heard, my Lord, that thy mother Sarah was barren in her days, until my Lord Abraham, thy father, prayed for her, and she conceived by him. See that? He prayed. So anyway, read it again. In the 59th year of the life of Isaac, son of Abraham, Rebekah his wife was still barren in those days. So back then they understood. Lord of hosts, it's something going on with the issue. Why she not able to conceive. The Lord He's trying to tell me something. He's trying to tell us something. So they understood that. So verse 2, and Rebekah said unto Isaac, truly I have heard, my Lord, that thy mother, Sarah, was barren in her days until my Lord. See that? Abraham is her Lord. Isaac is her Lord, and Abraham is her Lord. Thy father prayed for her, and she conceived. So after they prayed, both of them prayed, then she conceived. So it says, now therefore stand up, pray thou also to God, and he will hear thy prayer and remember us through his mercies. And Isaac answered his wife, saying, here you go. Abraham has already prayed for me to God and to multiply his seed. Now, he ain't go to the Pope or some white man, right? You gotta let that ferment. He ain't trusted in some white man. Okay, so he says, and Isaac answered his wife Rebekah, saying, Abraham has already prayed for me to God and to multiply his seed. Now, therefore, this barrenness must proceed to us from thee. And Rebekah said unto him, but arise now thou also and pray that the Lord may hear thy prayer and grant me children. And Isaac hearkened to the words of his wife, and Isaac and his wife rose up and went to the land of Moriah to pray there and to seek the Lord. And when they had reached that place, Isaac stood up and prayed to the Lord on account of his wife, because she was barren. And Isaac said, O Lord God of heaven and earth, whose goodness and mercy fill the earth, thou who didst take my father from his father's house and from his birthplace, and didst bring him into this land, and didst say unto him, to thy seed will I give the land, and thou didst promise him, and didst declare unto him, I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sands of the sea. And now may thy words be verified, or which thou didst say unto my father. For thou art the Lord our God. Our eyes are toward thee, to give us seed of men, as thou didst promise. For thou art the Lord our God, and our eyes are directed toward thee. Read that again, because this is a major problem. For thou art the Lord our God, right? Our eyes are toward thee, to give us seed of men, as thou didst promise us. For thou art the Lord our God, and your eyes are directed toward thee, and our eyes are directed toward thee. Now, because they done brainwashed us. So our eyes ain't directed toward him. They dealing with JC and everything else but him. And then 90-some% of the people don't even know him. But anyway, let's keep going. So he says, and the Lord heard the prayer of Isaac, son of Abraham, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And in about 7 months after the children, in about 7 months after the children struggled together within her, and it pained her greatly that she was weary on account of them. And she said to the women who were then in the land, did such a thing happen to you as it has happened to me? And they said unto her, no. So let's look at that right quick. I just said that earlier. The problem with the Israelite man and woman is that we totally different. We got we got a God that's over us, a living God, and we have a mandate. And we've been cyborged off of that mandate. We trying to we got all kind of plans to do stuff that ain't got nothing to do with us. Okay, and so that's what the problem is. So it says, and in about the 7th month, after the children struggled together within her, and it pained her greatly that she was wearied on account of them. Right, now check it out. And she said to all the women, she ain't like the rest of the women around. She said that all the women who were then in the land did such a thing happen to you as to me. And then they said no, like I said, because what the mandate you under and the situation you in and your laws, statutes, and judgments ain't got nothing to do with them. But you still trying to operate like them. Okay? So they said no. Anyway, so verse 10, and she said unto them, why am I alone in this among all the women that were upon the earth? See that? And she went to the land of Moriah to seek the Lord on account of this. She went to Shem. See that? Now they tell you in the New Testament because they want to lead you to JC. See that right here? They tell you in the New Testament, she went. You know, they empowered every woman when they read that. I'm gonna go pray. Jesus, my man. I'm gonna go pray to Jesus. He my man. You know. Okay. So it says right here, and she said unto them, "Why am I alone in this among the women that were upon the earth?" And she went to the land of Moriah to seek the Lord. Right. So she going to seek the Lord, Lord of hosts, right, on account of this. And she went to Shem. See that? Man, niggas ain't no good. Black men ain't no good. I'm going to talk to the Lord myself. He my man. Well, here you go right here. He says, and she went to Shem and Eber, his son, to make inquiries of them. See that? In this matter. And that they should seek the Lord in this thing respecting her. That's the order I'm talking about. That's why we are out of whack right now. We're not operating in this order. It says, and she also asked Abraham to see that. She also asked Abraham to seek and inquire the Lord about all that had befallen us. So she got, I don't know if you know these names, but they just Shem, Eber, and Abraham, who she just went and inquired to. She ain't got time to worry about the Lord of hosts. She got Shem, Eber, and Abraham standing there. Okay? Anyway, say, and they inquired of the Lord concerning this matter, and they brought her word from the Lord and told her 2 children. See that? This is a lie. Now look what they done in the New Testament. And they killed this authority right here. Shem, Eber, and Abraham. They done killed that. They got you thinking in the Bible that she went and acquired on her own, manifested her own destiny. Okay, so it says, and they all inquired of the Lord concerning this matter, and they brought word. They brought word from the Lord to her, and this is what they told her: 2 children are in thy womb. 2 nations shall rise from them, and 1 nation shall be stronger than the other, and the greater shall serve the younger. And when her days were to be delivered, were complete, she knelt down, and behold, there were twins in her womb, as the Lord had spoken to her. As the Lord had spoken to her. So what are they talking about? Abraham, Eber, and Shem had told her. Okay. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and all the people of the land called his name Esau, saying, this one was made complete from the womb. And after that came his brother, and his hand took hold of his brother's heel. Therefore they called his name Jacob. And Isaac, the son of Abraham, was 60 years old when he begot them. And the boys grew up and to the 15th year, and they came together, came amongst the society of men. Esau was a mean and deceitful man, and an expert hunter in the field. And Jacob was a man perfect and wise, dwelling in tents, feeding flocks, and learning the instructions of the Lord and the commands of his father and his mother. So let's look at this, because you gotta use that third eye, right? So it says, remember what happened with Abel, how different Cain was than Abel, and what Abel was and what Cain was. You gotta compare. You gotta look at all that. So it says, verse 26 and 17. The boys grew up. They see, when they first born, you don't know what you got. So now the seed starting to grow. The boys grew up, and they were 15 years old, right? And they came among the society of men. Here you go. You gotta look at this. Esau was designing deceitful man and an expert hunter in the field. See that? That's that front A. That's DNA. It's talking to you. And Jacob was a man perfect and wise, dwelling in tents, feeding flocks, and learning the instructions of the Lord and the commands of his father and his mother. Was an Israelite all day long. There's something going on. What's wrong? What's the deal with Esau? You're cunning and deceitful man. Well, we know what Cain was wicked as hell and killed Abel. We know that wasn't none of his son. That wasn't none of Adam's son. So there's something going on right here. Then on top of that, the glaring problem is Esau got red hair. And he hairy and he red all, he hairy all over. So this is I mean, you don't take rocket science to figure out what's something going on. Anyway, and Isaac and Isaac and the children of his household dwelt in there with his father Abraham in the land of Canaan, and God had commanded him. And Ishmael, the son of Abraham, went with his children and all belonging to them, and they returned there to the land of Havilah, and they dwelt there. And all the children of Abraham concubines went to dwell in the land of the east, and Abraham had sent them away from his son and had given them presents, and they went away. And Abraham gave all that he had to his son Isaac, and he also gave him all his treasures. And he commanded him, saying, "Doest thou not know and understand that the Lord is God in heaven and in earth, and there is no other besides him? And it was he who took me from my father's house and from my birthplace, and gave me all the delights upon the earth, who delivered me from the counsel of the wicked. For in him did I trust, and he brought me to this place. He delivered me from the Ur of the Chaldees, and he said unto me, To thy seed will I give all these lands, and they shall inherit them when they keep my commandments, my statutes, my judgments, and I have commanded thee, and which I shall command them. Now therefore, my son, hearken to my voice, keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee. Do not turn from the right way, either to the right or to the left, in order that it may be well with thee, and thy children are after thee." So see that it may be well with thee. Well, it ain't well with us. It ain't well with the Israelite man and the woman. We see what the problem is. That it may be well with thee and thy children forever. And it ain't well with us. That's because we ain't dealing with, that's how we know it ain't right. Okay, that's one of the reasons. It says 26, remember the wonderful works of the Lord and his kindness that he has shown toward us in having delivered us from the hands of our enemies, and the Lord our God caused them to fall in their own hands. Now therefore keep all that I have commanded thee, and turn not away from the commandments of thy God, and serve none besides him. That serve none besides him. We serve in JC. In order that it may be well with thee. See that? And thy seed after thee. And like I just said, I'm gonna go pray to Jesus. That's my man. Okay. And teach thou thy children and thy seed the instructions of the Lord and his commandments, and teach them the upright way in which thou should go, in order that it may be well with them forever. And Isaac answered his father and said unto him, that which my Lord has commanded, that will I do, and I will not depart from the commands of the Lord my God. and I will keep all the commands, all that he commanded me. And Abraham blessed his son Isaac, and also his children. And Abraham taught Jacob the instructions of the Lord and his ways. And it was at that time that Abraham died. And in the 15th year of the life of Jacob and Esau, the sons of Isaac, and all the days of Abraham were 175 years, and he died, and he was gathered to his people in a good old age, old and satisfied with days. And Isaac and Ishmael, his sons, buried him. And when the inhabitants of Canaan heard that Abraham was dead, they all, with their kings, the princes, and all their men, to bury Abraham, and all the inhabitants of the land of Haran, and all the families of the house of Abraham, all the princes and grandees, and the sons of Abraham by the concubines, all came when they heard that Abraham's death, and they requited Abraham's kindness and comforted Isaac his son, and they buried Abraham in the cave which he bought Ephron the Hittite and his children for the possession of a burial place. And the inhabitants of Canaan and all who had known Abraham wept for Abraham a whole year, and men and women mourned over him, and all the little children and all the inhabitants of the land wept on account of Abraham. For Abraham had been good to them all, and because he had been upright, and there arose not a man who feared God like unto Abraham, for he had feared his God from his youth, and he served the Lord, and had gone in all the ways during his life, from his childhood to the day of his death. And the Lord was with him, and delivered him from the counsel of Nimrod and his people. And when he made war with the 4 kings of Edom, he conquered them, and he brought all the children of the earth to serve God, and he taught them the ways of the Lord, and caused them to see that. And so that's why I was telling you, this Melchizedek, when you understand who Melchizedek is and what it Melchizedek is, you can this Melchizedek right here. So it says, notice what happened. 35. And the Lord was with him and delivered him from the counsel of Nimrod and his people. And when he made war with the 4 kings of Edom, he conquered them. And he brought check it out, he brought all the children of the earth, all the nations, different nations of the earth, to serve God, right? He taught them the ways of the Lord and caused them, see that? Caused them to know the Lord. So you way out of whack when you holler about, I'm going to talk to Jesus. No, he got the Levites, he'll cause you to understand. That's why he there. So when you start seeking for the truth, then you got to start looking for some Negroes going to show up somewhere, because the Most High going to use them to cause you to understand it. They already in place. When you was lost, he was already dealing with them. He already had a setup already. You just was lost. Once you find out, then you start searching for the truth, then you're going to end up right there where you already got a system set up in place. So anyway, it says, 36, and he brought all the children of the earth to serve God, and he taught them the ways of the Lord, and caused them to know the Lord. And he formed a grove, and he planted a vineyard therein, and he had always prepared in his tent meat and drink to those who passed through the land, and that they might satisfy themselves in his house. And the Lord God delivered the whole earth on account of Abraham. And it was after the death of Abraham that God blessed his son Isaac and his children, and the Lord was with Isaac, and he had been with his father Abraham. For Isaac kept all the commandments of the Lord as Abraham had commanded him. He did not turn to the right or to the left from the right path which his father had commanded him. Okay. And Esau, okay, let me see. Okay, see. And Esau at this time, after the death of Abraham, frequently went into the field to hunt. And Nimrod, king of Babel, the same was Omerphal, also frequently went in his with his mighty men to hunt in the field and to walk about with his men in the cool of the day. And Nimrod was observing Esau all the days, for a jealousy was formed in the heart of Nimrod against Esau all his days. So what I'm not gonna read that because it's gonna digress from what I was talking about. So we see right here righteousness, where we just read how it works. They flow down here. Okay, same when you see what happened right here with Rebecca, the same covering is over Esther, but we can't see it because they put a Christian twist on it. But the same thing right here with Rebecca is that same covering around Esther. You know what I mean? It's Mordecai and his Israelites around her. That's why she keep running to the gate. But they didn't put another twist on and got you thinking that she done been empowered, you know what I'm saying, above the man and all that. And she example a woman rising up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anybody got any comments or questions?
I'm sorry, you cleared that up.
Okay. Okay. Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So like I said, all it is we just saw that he told first he told Abraham that I'm gonna be with you. You took him outside his tent, and he told him to look in the sky and you see all the stars up in the sky. That's how many your seed. That's how much your seed gonna be. And he told him to look at the sand on the seashore. That's how his seed gonna be. And Abraham believed that. And he ain't veered from that. And the reason I'm saying it is because if you go back, we don't do that. You start out right there, but then next thing you know, you way over in Prim Road somewhere. You got to stay on the same path. What he just gave you, stick to that. With what you know is true, what he told you. Just to show us that you plant a seed, it's gonna blossom.
Shalom. I have one question.
Okay.
When you had mentioned about Cain wasn't Adam's son, where can I go at to read that? Because I didn't know that.
You can go to Genesis. Go to Genesis out of King James. You got Genesis. Genesis chapter 3, I think it is.
Genesis chapter 3. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna start in chapter 3, verse 1. Okay. Anybody else want to read along? So it says, chapter 3, verse 1. Now the sun was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said, this way the understanding first starts it right here. The woman said unto the serpent, You may eat of the fruit trees. See that? The fruit trees of the garden. But the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not touch it, you shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. So that's got to be broken down. So when he said, like I think about an apple tree or orange tree. When last time you seen somebody sitting around they can't touch an apple tree, right? What you mean? Don't touch it. So when you go back to the Hebrew and break that down in the Hebrew, that means to lie with a woman. That's what that means. If you have a strong concordance, you go look at it. That's gonna be one of your examples, one of your definitions for what that word touch means. So it means to lie with a woman. So it's a woman right there, right? And so let's keep going. So it says, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, neither shall you touch it lest you die. So she said we can eat of the fruit trees. So what's the tree? What's the tree that's in the midst of the garden? Right? She said we can eat of the fruit trees. So the tree that's in the midst of the garden, it ain't no fruit tree. So you say, who is that? Let's keep going. It says, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die, for God doeth know the day that ye eat thereof. So we know now, ain't no apple. Ain't no fruit tree. Because she just said we can eat of the fruit trees. So it ain't no fruit, there ain't no fruit. Okay. For God doeth know that in the day that ye eat thereof, your eyes shall be open. Be as gods, knowing good and evil. So this God right here is lowercase, them angels, elves. So they're gonna be like them. If they take this tree, deal with this tree, they're gonna end up knowing good and evil like them. They don't know no evil right here, like I was telling you. They know no evil. So here you go. The serpent is an angel that came in the garden, Lucifer. That's who it is. So it says, and when the woman saw that the tree is the serpent. That's who the tree is, Lucifer. It says, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, check it out, good for food, and it was pleasant to the eyes. See that? Like I said before, why you say don't touch it? You know, what that's gonna do? You can imagine if you had an orange tree or apple tree, plum tree, and you can't touch it. Because it ain't no, it's a being standing there. And he's saying, don't touch it. You can't deal with it. Right? And so he says, and the woman saw that the tree was good for food, which is conversation, and that it was the eyes. So she's not looking at it, and a tree to be desired. See that? Desire to make one wise. So she took the fruit thereof, did eat, gave it also to her husband with her, and he did eat. Now we're gonna find out what this tree is, right? Verse 7. And the eyes of both of them was open. Now here you go. And they knew that they was naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. So you say, what are you talking about? Go back to chapter 3, verse 21. You had 23 and 1, chapter 3, verse 21. Hello?
I'm here. Can you read it for me, please? Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you at chapter 3? Chapter 3, verse 21. Chapter 2, verse 21 says, and the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. He slept, and he took one of his ribs, closed up the flesh instead thereof, and the rib which the Lord God had taken from the man made he a woman. Right? And he brought the woman to the man. So here we go right here. 23. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Right? Did 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So when a man come together, a man and a woman is one flesh, what they doing?
Consummating their relationship.
Laying with each other. Yes.
They laying with each other, right? So this was happening right here. It says, 24. Therefore shall a man. So he put Adam to sleep, made the woman. Then when Adam woke up, he brought the woman to him, and right there on the spot, Adam consummated. Made the only way a woman can become a man's wife, he has to consummate the relationship. So that's what's happening in 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife. See that? Wife. And they shall be one flesh. So he consummated it right there. But after they had consummated the relationship, 25, and they were both naked. See that? They both naked. And look at this. And the man and his wife, and they was not ashamed. So they just had sex, but they don't know, they still don't know that they naked, because it was righteousness. Right? So then go back to what I just read. Now she's talking to the serpent, right? The tree, verse 6. Chapter 3, verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired, the sexual connotations, to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave it also to her husband, and he did eat, and did now, verse 7. And the eyes of both of them were open, and now they know they're naked. See, now they know they're naked. They just had sex over there, consummated the relationship, and they ain't know they was naked. But now, after they got through dealing with the serpent, okay, now they just finished dealing with the serpent. Now she know. Now they know they just had illicit sex. She wasn't supposed to with that serpent. Now she knows she's naked. So here we go. We keep going. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife, and they hid themselves from the presence of the Lord among the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam, saying unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. See, after they dealt with the serpent, now they know they naked, they hide, and they tripping. So 11, and he said, Who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree which I commanded thee that thou should not eat? And the man said, Here you go. The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree. So this is the tree I'm telling you about. It ain't no apple tree. It's a serpent. It's a Lucifer. It's a being. Okay? He says, and the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? She just had sex. That's what she did. That's what the problem is. And the woman said, Here you go. The woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. So what's beguiled? Wholly seduced. He seduced her. And then we saw over here in verse 6, when she saw that she's looking at him, and he's dazzling. She desired him. Okay, keep going. And 14, and then the Lord God said unto the serpent, Here you go. Here's your answer. The Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, had sex, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, dust shalt thou eat all days of thy life. Now here you go. 15, I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and I will put, he talking to the serpent, I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed, as a child. I'll put enmity between thy seed and her seed. And it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise thy heel. So Lord just told her that. 15, read it again. I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, two seeds. And it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel, right? Then you go to chapter 4. What the Lord just told her. Here you go. Chapter 4, verse 1. Adam knew his wife Eve, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I've gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bore. You go to two seeds right here. And she again bore his brother Abel. Abel was a keeper of the sheep. Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time, it came to pass, Cain brought the fruit of the ground as an offering unto the Lord. Abel, he also brought of the fruit, firstling of the flock, of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect. Look at this. The Lord had respect unto Abel, right? And his seed, his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering, he had no respect. It's because Cain ain't none of his Adam's son. See that? It says, and unto Cain and unto his offering he had no respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, should thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lies at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, shall be our desire, and thou shalt rule over him. Okay, does that make any sense? Gotta let that ferment.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta keep on looking at it.
It seems like so it's kind of like an allegory. When they
Well, that's what it wasn't like that when before they got Hotel Records. They made an allegory out of it because they trying to hide that that's them. They don't want you to know that it's a wicked seed on the earth, Cain descendants.
Okay.
And so they hid it back, just like, and it's way more complicated than that. So when you go to Noah, you say Noah had 3 sons. No, Noah had 1 son, Shem. And Cain, Japhet is from Cain's lineage, and Ham is from Genesis 1:26. So they covering up that wicked seed through the scriptures. Yeah, but that's you gotta work on that and work on it till the creator till he show it to you. Because it ain't gonna just pop off the page. You gotta work with it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Does somebody want to add something to that or what? Okay, go ahead.
We have the verse to read.
I thought Michelle, you had a verse.
Sister Cheryl's gonna pick a scripture.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's Deuteronomy 13, verse 1 through 5.
Okay.
If there rise among you a prophet or a dreamer or of dreams, and giveth thee the signs of wonder, and the sign or the wonder comes to pass, whereof he spoke unto thee, saying, let us go after another God, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams. For the Lord your God proveth you to know whether ye love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Ye shall walk after the Lord your God, and fear him, and keep his commandment, and obey his voice. And ye shall serve him, and cleave unto him. 5. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which the Lord thy God commanded thee to walk in. So shall thou, though put to evil ways from the midst of thee. That's Deuteronomy 13, 1 through 5. And how he named him a prophet, with verse 1 was saying about the prophet giving us signs or wonders.
Okay.
And when it comes to pass in number 2, so the prophet can be of false prophet. Would that be a false prophet? But his what he said, the signs and wonder comes to pass, and then he wants you to follow another god. That is a false prophet.
Well, the understanding of that is that if a man come to you saying that he had a dream or a vision about something and it don't come to pass, then they ain't come from the Creator. They ain't come from the Lord of hosts. And and then that same person gonna be put to death. And a prime example of that is Martin Luther King.
But this one says it came to prophet, and it comes to pass, and the signs or wonder comes to pass, whereof he spake unto thee.
Right. He said, if it come to pass, he
No,
was sent by the Lord.
it,
He was
it
sent by the
comes
Lord.
to
If it
pass.
don't come to pass, he was a false prophet. That's why I was saying that he asked Ahaz, give me a sign. And Ahaz was afraid. He said, no, I'm not gonna give no, I don't want no sign. I'm not gonna tempt the Lord, because he knows that if he tempt the Lord, he'd come up missing. So Ahaz backed off. So Isaiah told him, I'm gonna give you a sign. A woman is gonna have a kid, a virgin is gonna have to conceive and bear a child. That child gonna be the sign. So what Isaiah told him came to pass. So the prophecy that Isaiah gave him was true. He was a true prophet. But if it don't come to pass, you know that the Lord of hosts didn't send that person. You're not dealing with him. That's what that's telling you. Okay. Anybody else have anything?
No, sir.
No,
Okay.
sir.
What's up? All right. What's up, Tasha? You ain't saying nothing.
Shalom. I just been sick, so I
Oh,
didn't
you
want to be
see, okay.
coughing and hacking. Yeah, but I'm
Okay.
listening.
All right. Okay. So nobody else have nothing else? I'm gonna say shalom, shalom, and another shalom. I see. I was telling. I see it by the Sunday, because I still got some remnants of this flu I had. It should be completely gone by the Sunday. I've been taking the medicine and stuff. So yeah. I see y'all on Sunday at for the advanced Bible study. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
Shalom, everyone.
I highly recommend that you get this book and you read it, because it's a must that you understand who God head is in the order that's in the Old Testament and Tanakh, because it's not the same as in the New Testament. And when you read this and you get an understanding, then the scriptures open up, and then you begin to understand. So I highly recommend that you get this book. It's the Elohim of Israel, and it's a breakdown on the word Elohim and who the God of Israel is, and the Godhead.